Good evening, everybody, and welcome into the 13th episode of Mother's Jail. This should be the last session of the third chapter, and tonight's session is titled The Prioress. Last time, when we all got together, the party had crashed onto Mitra Glorianda and had to go through and rescue the other crew members of the Nightwing out of the burning ship. They were able to recover a few of them, although sadly, Ilitrin Whitewalk had perished before even the crash had happened. And, Katir Whispersilk had a severe concussion, Lysel had a broken leg, and Thermal was probably doing the worst of all of them with a large piece of pipe impaled through her. Despite the direness of the situation, the party resolved to go after Kelsey, who they learned had been kidnapped during the crash and the subsequent, unconscious period. And despite their injuries, decided to go after her to try and rescue her before she could be taken into the devil-infested lands of Mitra Glorianda. They had to book it after her, not even able to rest as they made the trip, and were able to finally run her down before she was taken past Ceres's gate into the wastelands of the devil-occupied part of Mitra Glorianda. The fight was spooky, as they had to go into it pretty beat up and against enemies that they didn't know how strong were going to be. Yet they were able to hang on long enough for the timely arrival of General and Commander Varys and Carmen Rayla, former Whisper in Silence and his partner. They were able to arrive and assist the party, as well as their daughter, whom Kelsey was. Despite this, they chose not to wake Kelsey up and say hello because there are some difficult feelings still between Kelsey and her father. But the party was able to get some information from Varys, and Brayley was specifically given a heirloom or a token that supposedly Varys had been given by Fauna, one of the twin goddesses of nature, when Fauna said that she would return one day, and he promised he would give it to her when she did. And he believes that Brayley is indeed the reincarnation of the former goddess of all that bears fang and claw, and that would be Fauna. Indeed, when she put the choker on, it did seem to react, and she got some spiffy new powers. The party then made their way back towards Bellis Rocca, taking the unconscious Kelsey with them, as a pit fiend showed up, and Varys and Carmen volunteered to stay behind and cover their escape. On the way back, they encountered a battle scene where, unfortunately, they came across the dying remains of one Thermal. With her final breath, she managed to give Kelsey a cartridge that she had been keeping in her pack that contained her final words on it, and the party was able to listen as Thermal confessed her love for Kelsey, a love that she could not confess in life, and so she held on to for death. And it was a very difficult moment, but the party spent the night there, trying to finally get some decent rest and get moving again before setting out for Bellis Rocca in the morning. And that's where we left off. And that's where we will pick up. If you didn't already, you can all take a long rest, as you have made it through the night okay.
Yay! Yay! I'm not sure if I did. I'm going to do it just in case. Take a long rest. Mostly for my abilities.
It's not a particularly long walk from here to Bellis Rocca. It takes half the day or so. It's probably just a little bit before noon when you are arriving at the fortification. It is slowed down a little bit by having to carry along the body of Thermal, but Kelsey carries her the whole way. Compared to Mitra Scaleth, or Moon Bay, for those of you who are from Terrasen, Bellis Raka is certainly not what one would expect of an elven city. In fact, it's not really a city at all, but a military fortification. And in that, they have clearly drawn on the experience of Terrasen, as their defenses bear strong resemblances to forts on the human continent. Heavy stone walls with wooden battlements atop them, iron portcullis, and a small city that lives within the walls all have a striking familiarity to people like Ramiel and Ayla. What is different are the weapons mounted on the walls. In addition to your usual murder holes, there are massive scorpion turrets mounted on stone bases. Apparently, attacks from the air are a major threat here. Atop the keep, you see an incredibly large stone and wooden pad, and docked at it, an airship with 2 large balloons atop it. Approaching out front, you are approached by a man wearing the elven chain of Mitra Glorianda. He has a bow on his back and a sword on his hip, and his green hair is pulled back into a neat tie. Approaching you, he gives a cautious but polite nod. State your business, travelers.
We have business in both Bellis Raka, I believe this place is called, and further into Mitra Primis.
He nods slowly, and Kelsey speaks up, still holding the body. Captain Kelsey Rayner, you can tell Captain Starsong that we're supposed to be here. She'll know. And he looks at you for a long moment before nodding. Wait here. And he turns and heads back into the fortification, as you are all left out there for a bit longer. Kelsey glances at you all. Security's tight everywhere, but especially near the front lines and in the capital.
Should we simply say that we are with you, or how should we?
Yes, you are with me, and it is an assignment from the High Command of Mitra Glorianda to bring you all to Mitra Primus. So.
Very well.
Callie.
Yes.
Did Lady Eastbrook, or was it Kelsey that mentioned that the Prioress wanted us arrested?
It was Lady Eastbrook who mentioned that.
It was Eastbrook, okay.
And Lady Eastbrook who talked her out of it, saying,
talked her out of it.
You're going to have a war on your hands if you do that.
If you do, yeah. Okay. So then, we would, you're to join us, to Primus then.
Yes, I was supposed to take you all the way to Mitra Primus. Obviously, those plans were interrupted by sabotage.
You mentioned that Melchior had been on loan from Glorianda.
She kind of makes a face. Clearly, this has been something that she has had on her mind, but has been trying to not have on her mind for reasons of guilt. But she nods. I don't operate officially in the Air Navy of Mitra Glorianda because my father would not allow that and has blocked my commission at every step. So I operate as a privateer, but they don't allow you to just operate as a privateer. You have to have a representative of the Air Navy on your ship.
And how long have you known Melchior?
She looks so angry right now. 4 years.
No
Model
indication?
officer. No, he was great.
No changes recently?
he was a traitor and I didn't see it.
And Romuald walks over. And puts a hand on her shoulder and grips it. Betrayal never comes from your enemies.
She closes her eyes, and you do see a tear like slide down her cheek. Yeah.
You're not at fault here.
She looks down at the body of Thermal that she's holding. Certainly feels like I am. She put her life in my hands.
Is that not what a leader does? Have people's lives on their hands?
Yeah.
That doesn't make you any less mortal. But I do wonder is why the devils would have any interest in this matter, in us.
If they wanted you, they had their chance.
They wanted you, it seems.
And yet, they did have ample opportunity. And they chose you instead.
Yeah. I would guess that they wanted me. And if everything had gone according to plan, Melchior could have blamed the crash on you all. And then resumed his time in our ranks.
Devils get revenge with General Varus, and he gets... I don't know what he got.
He was one of them. I would be lying to say I understand what it is they seek.
No, it just was...
When you do hold a service for Thermal, please do send word. If we're not here.
Yeah. Her parents will arrange it.
And Romuald awkwardly pats Kelsey's shoulder and straightens up. Well, I suppose then you can extend the condolences of the to them from the Mortal Reminders.
Nova, Melchior became the Bone Devil you all fought.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So was
He literally like shifted.
He literally was a devil.
Okay. So not necessarily he betrayed, but more of infiltrated them.
Yes, he was.
Okay.
He
That's what
was
I
a
thought.
spy and an infiltrator.
Okay, that's what I thought, but the way Kelsey was describing it made me confused.
Yeah, I mean, in her mind, it was her friend.
Yeah.
And
No,
someone who stabbed her in the
fair.
back.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yep. A moment later, the portcullis opens again, and the young man comes back out, giving a proper nod. This time, he is flanked by two others, and he gives a polite bow as he approaches. Captain, welcome home. Captain Starsong will see you, and his eyes fall towards the body she's holding. These two will take the lieutenant to the surgery to be preserved for the trip home to Major Primus.
Actually, I can handle that.
Very well. What would you like us to do with the... Do you want to hang on to the body until you can leave?
I will go with you and handle it.
Very well then. Please, come along. And you are permitted to walk with these two men who take the body from Kelsey and head back in. The remaining soldier nods. As for the rest of you, I will lead you inside and show you where you can get some rest and something to eat until you're able to speak with the captain.
Thank you. That would be kind.
As you all pass under the iron portcullis and into the city proper, the people here are mostly soldiers. Most who fight this close to the front lines don't want their families here staying with them. So this is a city that caters very much to the needs of a standing army. There is very little in the way of like an inn here, but taverns, brothels, theaters, those are all very commonplace in this. I hesitate to call it a city. It's a
settlement.
It's a settlement, but it's a fortification. It is meant to be a fort. Pointing around, he directs you to a building, one that he says is called the Green Step. It's a tavern. He says you can get something to eat there if you say who you are. They won't charge you. He also points up towards the main keep where he's leading you. Up there, we'll have rooms provided with you until travel to meet your primus can be arranged. The captain said she's going to work on that. And also that she'll speak with you whenever you're all feeling up to talking and making a report.
Very well.
Kelsey just kind of nods and follows after. You're all taken up into the castle keep. Layla, you're a little bit ahead because you went ahead with the other two. Just to the right of the keep, there is a large building that is built off the back of it, and it's actually quite ingeniously located because of how it's positioned between the keep and the outer walls. It would be incredibly hard for like stray artillery fire or anything to penetrate this place, and this is where the hospital is, or their surgery is. It is also easily reached from any of the outer walls, so people who do get injured have a good chance of maybe not just being killed from their injuries outright or getting it infected. This is a very modern take on how to perform triage in warfare, whereas many places still are doing triage like right on the front line. This is a much more modern look at how we would do that.
And start bringing people there.
Yeah, exactly that. It is a place that can be sterilized and have people brought into it versus trying to operate out in the field where you might just get killed. Or even if you do succeed, you're likely to face infection. And that would explain what it's. I think at first it's kind of surprising to you because on like Rest Hearth, this isn't how it would be. But it occurs to you that these are people that have now been at war for centuries, and they have had a lot of time to learn more effective ways of doing things. You are taken into the surgery, and in there, it is very much what you would expect of a wartime surgery. The injuries are many. They are gruesome.
Very familiar to me as of late.
I think, yes, especially as of late. You notice a couple things straight away. One is in a bed to the left, you see Katir, Whisper Silk, Whisper Silk, who is sleeping in the bed. And in the back, there is a table that they have opened up to have Thermal's remains put on.
Okay. So they lay her out. I'll go up and, sort of straighten, position her properly as I feel appropriate. And everything.
Make a medicine check for me.
I can do that.
Medicine.
Especially if I reach into my bag and actually grab a die.
That would contribute.
We do need a die.
Well, I forgot how D&D Beyond worked, and I was clicking around trying to find, like, where does it list my skills?
Oh,
That's a 12.
You start to work. You know, when someone has passed, this is much more about cleaning them up and making them look presentable. That perhaps they could be, the body could be viewed before being laid to rest in whatever way the elves of Mitra Glorianda do so. Just looking at her, that's probably not going to be the case for her because the wounds are gruesome down the side where the explosion happened.
There's no dressing this up.
Yeah, you're not gonna make this look pretty. But you do learn some things, and I think there's a piece of you that maybe, well, I don't want to say how you feel about it. It's up to you how you feel about it. But there is a degree of, in getting to work with her now, you are learning a bit about the Dia Asanil and how this kind of fusion of technology and organic matter works.
I learned about her nanomachines.
Yeah, basically. So how you feel about that is up to you.
Okay.
But
It's a thinker.
yeah, but ultimately, you have learned a bit about the Dia Asanil and how they function. As you're working, another elf approaches. This one is an older man. You're not sure how old he is exactly, but he looks every bit of 90. But he is still up and moving about, and he kind of frowns and goes, "Oh, another of our clockwork brethren."
Yes, and in some ways a friend.
I'm very sorry. They are a fascinating people, the Dia Asanil. When the first of them came up to Mitra Glorianda, we didn't even know what to make of it. And yet, in studying them, we've learned a great deal about helping ourselves.
In what way?
The Dia Asanil, and forgive me if I don't phrase this correctly, but they have a unique biology, one that does not exist anywhere else on this planet. Gifted to them by their god, they undergo a sort of metamorphosis. As a child, they are born androgynous. They look like elves, but they have no distinctive markers of sex. When they come of age, they meet with their god, who bestows upon them their adult body. In much the same way, he is able to bestow upon them machine improvements, what they call technoprosthesis. Take this one here, and he looks. Oh, where's the hand for it? I don't want to be disrespectful of the body.
It's quite all right. I was simply preparing her.
He very gently lifts up one of the plates by her chest, and inside you can see her lung, which is unpleasant to look at. But what you notice immediately is that the lung has a mesh webbing over it that is made of some sort of metal, and he motions to it. These lungs can breathe underwater. It is a adaptation that is, well, not seen in any of our other peoples on this world, yet they create it and apply it to themselves with the blessing of their god.
And that's just because knowledge of the Diosynil isn't that widespread, is it?
It outside of Terrasen, no.
Okay.
The Dia Asanil appeared about 400 years ago on Terrasen, but they are a very small collective.
Okay.
And
I just wanted to clarify because obviously, like, I as the player, have that knowledge of them.
yes,
But it didn't occur to me until this conversation started that Layla, the character, might
Right.
not.
and you probably wouldn't. In all honesty, it is very much a. If you weren't from if you're from Terrasen, yeah, you probably know. Oh, the Machine Elves, yeah, they're weird.
Okay.
But yeah.
And this is. I'm sorry, I completely lost the thread of where we had left off.
Oh, he was pointing out the hydro lungs that this person has is a unique adaptation that yeah.
Sorry. It is, I will admit, quite fascinating, but how did that all come about?
Well, I can't say that I know the details of it. My understanding is that when the first of them ignited into the Machine Prince, his followers believed so greatly that he formed a sort of symbiotic relationship with them. Those that were born as, he seems to really consider his words, blank slates, so to speak, such that they could improve themselves however they saw fit.
I will. And sort of look in there, where you pointed out with the lungs. I will admit to a somewhat morbid curiosity that I wish I could learn more. Although I can't imagine how one might go about doing such a thing in a dignified manner.
It is a difficult thing to want to ask people about their own nature and who they are, but there are some Dia Asanil here.
Complex look passes across her face.
Yeah. There are some Dia Asanil here. Actually, one came in with that gentleman over there. I had to reset her leg. If you find her, you might talk to her. Her name is Lysel.
Wait, huh?
I was blowing past it for the moment. I may do that very thing once I'm finished.
Well, if you'll excuse me.
And, exchange the stuff of, description so I can properly get her down.
Yes.
Track her down.
Yes. Well, Lysel, you've met her before, so.
Wait, we did?
Yeah, it's Kelsey's wife. She's a Dia Asanil.
Oh, okay. Brain bad.
No worries.
Okay. And then I'll sort of finish up putting, getting her laid out and sort of straightened up and as best as I can with all that, and thank the gentleman again, and reach in and pull out the 2 coppers and place it over her eyes and cast Gentle Repose before I leave.
You do. You place the 2 coppers over her eyes, and she looks very peaceful as she rests there. And like any healer, it is the hardest task to lay to rest those that you can't help. But
Eventually, I'll be able to once I get true resurrection.
then I can stop everyone from dying.
Oh,
That's
no.
never gone poorly in the history of this world.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
But yeah, just
No.
for reference, Gentle Repose is basically magical formaldehyde.
Yep.
Mm.
10 days, no decay.
Magical formaldehyde.
Basically.
Yeah.
Elsewhere, the rest of you have been led up into the keep and are shown to a series of rooms down a hallway. These are very simple rooms. They are... It kind of reminds you of being on the Nightwing, although not as cramped as that. But these rooms are a cot, a footlocker, and, a wash basin, basically.
I'm half expecting the floor to rumble.
Yeah.
Now remember, Ayla, we must be in our best behavior. So whatever prank you are thinking of causing, some distraction, I would highly against doing so.
Oh, you're advising me against. I'm sorry. Who was it last time? I think that was you, actually.
I don't know anything of the sort. I am completely innocent. It wasn't me they blamed.
I'm
Right,
waiting for
You are
the both
farthest thing from innocent.
Oh.
The man looks at Ayla and Nova. I apologize. Should I get you to a room together?
No,
Please.
we're fine.
Sorry, I must have misunderstood.
I don't even joke with people anymore. Goodness.
They've a somewhat mutual understanding of sorts.
Nova recalls what Ayla warned them, and just kind of eyes Ramiel before shaking their head.
What? I don't want to be stuck in a room between the two of you again. I learned my fucking lesson.
The man looks at the group of you, just raising his eyebrows. I'm gonna go. Feel free to wash up, and then the captain will see you. And he leaves quickly.
Fucking better. Little bitch.
What did I miss?
Apparently you make a joke and everyone gets scared of you. It's your sexual
They're
attention.
acting up.
Everyone
Nova
gets
just made a
scared.
joke
Ramiel
about-
forgets he was in the room next to us, not between us.
That is true. It wasn't like we were making noises on either side of the room. That would be weird.
my gods.
I am just immediately explaining the circumstances.
Listen, just because between the both of you, you have more experience in being intimate than the rest of us combined, doesn't mean that you can rub it on. Okay, you know what?
Rub it? Where?
Okay, we need to work on that for the rest of you, first of all.
Ramiel, I cannot help that my mother was a prostitute, alright? I know these things. They just say openly.
Kelsey is just like looking at you all like, this feels so painfully familiar.
What do you mean?
No, just y'all remind me of someone or of a group of people. Painfully so.
Raises
Anyway.
an eyebrow.
I'm gonna go wash my face, and then we'll meet with the captain, and then I gotta go find Lysel before she has a panic attack.
Of course.
Yeah, they. Oh shit. Is Layla back with us after that?
Not yet.
Okay, shit. I need a fucking drink.
Let's not keep the captain waiting, and then we can have a drink. So you all wash up and make your way down. It's easy enough. They point you in the direction of the captain's office. The room is dimly lit as you entered. Uh, a woman looks over scrolls and maps as you enter, occasionally reaching for a book on a shelf to check something in her notes. She's an older woman with blonde hair faded to white. She wears the crow's feet of someone who has spent too much time not getting enough sleep. Nevertheless, Elena Starsong gazes up at you and nods. Close the door behind you. Let's talk. So she nods and kind of looks you all over. I heard from Miss Lysell a bit of what happened, but I would hear your report. She looks around the room and points to Nova. You.
Me.
Report.
Well, we were on the ship, all was well, and then we were under attack. It seems, unfortunately, one of the members, Melchior, had become I heard it was called a bone devil. So we fought the ship. The ship, unfortunately, went down. We saw devils were taking we had seen tracks of devils had taken Kelsey away after we had were able to account for everyone else, and we made the choice to go after and find Kelsey. And now we are here.
She looks up to the captain. Clearly you did find her.
Indeed.
And you were able to survive.
We are tough.
Yes, but all the reports are that the activity near Ceres's gate is, well, plentiful and strong.
I look at Kelsey for a moment before looking back, because Nova doesn't really know the politics here to lie.
Yeah.
So they'll say, we did have assistance from General Varus and what was Carmen's rank?
Commander.
And Commander Rayla. Or not Rayla.
Yeah.
Rayla. Okay,
Commander
Rayla.
Carmen Rayla. Yeah, that's her name.
Commander Rayla.
Do you want to know the look on Kelsey's face or the look on this woman's face?
Oh, that's right. Kelsey doesn't know. Whatever.
Oops.
I forgot that we weren't going to tell Kelsey, but like, I'll look at Kelsey's face first.
Make an insight check.
Oh God, I'm bad at those. 1 second, please. Insight. Oh, I'm trained in it. I forgot about that. 16.
Kelsey's face is stoic, but her eyes are not.
Mm-hmm.
There is a mixture of anger and horror in her eyes.
Oh,
But-
sorry.
She doesn't say anything, or I think she's still standing at attention.
Okay. Can I look at the other lady?
Yeah, the other woman seems pleased as she smiles and straightens up a little bit. How is General Varus?
Yeah, he seemed healthy and strong.
Still handsome, I hope.
Handsome. I see. Not my type, but married, so someone finds him handsome.
Yes. Married to a human, fortunately. I'm certain to outlive her.
Even Nova's like, damn, what the hell, lady?
Romeo
He just told us all we need to know about him.
I imagine General Carmen Rayla is as deft with her knife skills and other such things that are important for the marriage. I mean, for the Ceres Gate.
Well, if they were helping you, it would explain why you made it. Very well, then. You were to bring them to Mitra Primus, she asks Kelsey, who nods. I have sent ahead word. There is an airship leaving in the morning for Mitra Primus. You all will have a place aboard it. In the meantime, you can stay here and rest tonight. Food will be provided for you. Our rations are a bit low at the moment, but there's enough. And in the morning, you can set off.
Very well.
Thank
Very well.
you for
Thank
your
you. Thank you for your time.
hospitality.
Yeah. But of course, dismissed. And you all are free to go.
I will go to Kelsey and say, apologies that you had to find out this way.
It makes too much sense, she replies.
We did not think we could do it by ourselves.
I'm not going to be angry at you for saving my life.
Very well. Then I will not pry into the affairs of father and daughter.
Good call.
No, we'll step away.
As you're all leaving, you meet up again with Layla, who is on her way up from the surgery. And you all kind of meet at almost the entrance to the keep, and you are free to go wherever you like for now.
The tavern. I'm gonna ask around for like which fucking food place has the hardest liquor that they have.
Also not just this liquor, but most raw meat. Really over here has a taste for flesh, I think.
You are informed in no uncertain terms that every tavern has the same of things available in it. It is a fort, and they operate on rations and booze.
Fair enough.
We may have to find you an animal outside, really.
Oh, you can get some meat.
Oh, I meant raw meat.
Oh, raw meat? That might be harder.
There's,
They do.
there's,
They
like,
do
dried
tend
meat?
to. I mean, you could ask for raw meat. They would probably be curious why you don't want it cooked.
I'll take raw or cooked, whatever you got.
Okay. So as you start making your way down to the green step, walking along, you suddenly hear a familiar voice tear through the hustle and bustle of the settlement. Kelsey! Kelsey's head jerks up out of her thoughts, and she immediately hones in on Lysel, just in time for the woman to practically tackle her, despite her legs still being in a brace. Burying her face into Kelsey's shoulder, she just starts sobbing and squeezes her tightly as Kelsey wraps her arms around her and holds her. Hey, I'm okay. I got you. I'm fine, thanks to them. Lysel looks over at you, a mixture of joy, relief, and overwhelming shame in her eyes as tears drip down her cheeks. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You don't need to thank us, really.
Yes, I do.
Group hug? Really awkwardly goes in.
You approach this reunited couple and try and join in the hug.
I pull Burley back.
Outstanding, Bailey. No,
Really
you know what?
just overcome. 'cause
Roll,
it's
yeah,
just
roll persuasion.
Appro-
Yeah, let's see how this goes.
Oh god.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay, it's not terrible.
Okay.
It's bad.
It's a little awkward. There's definitely a moment of they're like, what? What is happening? But you just explained, it was an emotional moment. Like, we've been through a lot over the last day, and people were
almost
hugging.
died.
Yeah. And she...
We almost died. We had a group hallucination. We ran. Some people rode on top of each other. Wait.
I
A different
phrased that better.
circumstance, Ramiel. Goodness. You always have sex on the parade.
That was Mal.
Lysel looks up and frowns. Kelsey. Thermal. I know. I saw her on the way. And Lysel just has tears drip down her cheeks. She told us to run, that we would die if we carried her. And Kelsey nods. I know. She did what she does. And at that, you all start making your way over to the green step. On the way, Lysel explains that Katir is still resting in the surgery. Layla, you're aware of that because you saw him there. But she explains that he suffered a cracked skull in the crash. The doctors do expect him to recover, but that was the concussion that he had was actually a cracked skull.
Ooh. Brain bleed.
Yeah.
Not good.
But you all make your way over to the green step and are able to get a seat. And you ask what is available, and they tell you mead. So.
Meat it is.
Oh.
Please.
Well, they say mead or water you can have.
Meat, please.
Mead or
Oh
meat?
no, mead. How terrible.
Well, there is meat also, so you can definitely get meat. Do you want it raw?
And
Do they have...
wriggling.
And Ricky.
The bloodier, the better.
What's the house
No,
special?
generally not.
What's the house special?
We have a beef stew.
I'll take it. Mostly beef, less stew.
Mm-hmm.
She thinks about that for a moment. I'll ask the chef if he can do that. Sure.
She's a growing girl.
Perfect.
Okay.
I tell you what, you can have the meat from mine.
He might go for that.
Okay.
Very well.
And for the drinks, are they more lukewarm than anything?
I would actually say no for all the
Okay.
things that, like, obviously nothing is particularly good here, but it is cold on Mitra Glorianda. So if there's anything they can do, it is keep the things cold. You'd have a harder time getting things that are hot.
Like the meat, the stew.
Yes, the stew is hot because most people don't want to eat cold stew.
Unless it's gazpacho.
Yes, that's true.
But this isn't gazpacho.
This is not gazpacho.
I don't think that was gonna really eat much, but they will take some drinks.
Kelsey eats. She seems hungry. And she kind of sits at the table and just glances down. I feel like I owe you all an apology. It was supposed to be a pretty simple trip to bring you up to meet your Primus, and you've been through all this.
Darling, if there's anything that you need to learn about us, if we're anything but simple, the only thing that's simple about us is the fact that we're mortals. Plain and
Yeah,
simple.
simple doesn't happen around us for some fucking reason.
There's no reason to apologize. You couldn't have seen that coming.
It happens.
It does.
Shit happens. That's Nova's wise words.
It happens.
Shit happens.
Shit happens.
If anything, we ought to celebrate our thermal for who she was to all of us. Unfortunately, we did not have the pleasure of knowing her for as long as you did, but in the brief time that we did, she was a delight. She was more of she had a spark in her that was a spark of life, so to speak. The one thing that I admired was the fact that she didn't let her disabilities deter her from doing what she did best.
Lysel speaks up. She had one of the most brilliant minds I had ever seen in someone. Maybe she looks at Kelsey. Well, second to one, maybe. But she was beyond gifted in the things that she did. And she always had a kind word, even if it was pre-recorded. She kind of chuckles and looks down. She looks at Kelsey. She loved you. And Kelsey stiffens a little bit, but nods. Yeah. Yeah, she did. You knew? And Lysel gives a look. Do you think I am blind, dear? Yes. Of course I knew. You have never shown me anything less than love. But I've always been aware that when it comes to your inventions or things of that nature, I don't keep up as well. You could match wits with her on that, and I understood that. And Kelsey shakes her head. I loved her, but I loved her like I loved Melisandre. And she nods. I know. I'm not accusing you of anything. She loved you, and she cared about you enough to never say it. And that's very special. She was an incredibly good friend, and I will miss her every day. Kelsey raises a glass. Has a drink.
Raises mug to Thelma.
To Jezreel.
To Jezreel.
To Jezreel.
You'll toast and share a drink. You've been there for about an hour. You're all eating and enjoying a good meal. I say a good meal. It's fine, but here it's about as good as you're going to get on the front lines of battle. But as you're all enjoying that, who's holding the sending stone at the moment?
That would be Ayla?
Yeah.
I
Ayla.
gave it to someone.
You did, but I thought we
You
gave
did,
it
but then they
back.
gave it back, yeah.
Because I used the sending spell.
Right.
So,
So you gave it to Lysel to contact Varys, and then I think she gave it back to you.
I think that's correct.
So-
unless...
Ayla, you feel a vibration, and then a voice in your head as Commander Alspeth speaks to you. This is Commander Alspeth. I received word you've been sent to Mitra Glorianda, though I can scarcely believe it.
Oh, that was it.
yeah.
Waiting for you to reply.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is the paired, so it's an
This is a
actual
two-way
game.
sending stone. Yep.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
so
you
you
can
can-
just talk
Okay.
to her.
As one of Admiral Denizen?
Yep. Denerin.
Venerin.
Deneren's conditions on the Alliance, Ramiel had to come here and meet who I think might be his sister.
It's a long pause on the other end of the sending stone.
I'm sorry. His what?
Am I talking to the right group?
Look, I know it's insane. I'm here and I barely believe it.
Brayley loudly slurps her stew up.
Brayley, it's really good, especially the meat. Like the potatoes and the carrots are good,
Yeah, they're fine.
They're fine.
Like,
but the
That's
meat
sky meat.
this is sky meat, and it's real
It's
good.
tender.
did you say sky meat?
Yeah, this is sky
Yeah.
meat.
Yeah.
It's way up high. High altitude meat.
Oh, because
Boy, the
Why did it
Mile
take me
High
so
Club
long
sure
to-
is different here.
now I get it.
Captain or Commander Alspeth speaks up again after a long moment. Okay, so you are in Mitra Primus then?
We're on the way.
En route, our airship crashed. we've had a day.
Maybe I should take over the sending stuff.
No, I've heard your sending
Ayla,
spells
give me
before.
The phone.
Uh,
What did I do
you
wrong?
crashed. As in you didn't teleport up there. Or you didn't
No.
teleport there. She doesn't know that it's up.
You were gonna teleport?
Well, she doesn't know where Mitra Glorianda is, so she assumes you have to teleport there.
Right. This might be a lot to
no.
say.
And not that it's in the sky.
Yeah, she doesn't know that. Okay. Well, I'm going to require a report whenever you all get back. I wanted to let you know that Azur's Remembrance reached out and has made the alliance formal, so your job is complete so far as I'm concerned. Well done. That said, if you're in Mitra Glorianda and you're going to Mitra Primus, consider yourselves official ambassadors from Jet's Ambition and the Children of the Deep, and I guess see if any help can be bartered from them. This is not how I saw today going.
I've been
It's like
saying that to myself for the last 4 days.
To be fair, neither did we.
That's fine. That's fair, I suppose.
It's kind of like a
Fucking
speaker
speaker
call.
right
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my god.
sorry, I can't remember if it's... Cadence wanted me to ask if you were able to follow the Silver Wolf.
We are.
Wait.
It's
We're eating with her
only,
right
only,
now.
only Ayla hears
Only
this.
Yeah.
Ayla hears this.
We were actually, apparently that meant Kelsey from the Whispers in Silence. It's been a weird few days.
Am I talking to the right group still?
Oh my god.
Okay,
Hello, is
that's
this
a
for you?
lot. Okay, right. You're with one of the Whispers in Silence, sure. Okay,
Also,
maybe ask them if they want to come help. That'd be great too.
well, there's apparently a war here, and also we met Cerberus, and he is... Oh, he's
General?
a lot.
General?
All right, I can't do this over a sending stone. I'm gonna need y'all to make a report when you come back. Try and get whatever aid you can.
Will do.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Oh, one more thing. Admiral Denerin mentioned that you saw something strange in the Dying Forest.
Well, there's a lot of
Oh, yeah,
reports we can
that.
make.
It looked like a dragonborn. It puppeted empty bodies, and if
It
you hit it,
spoke in
it knew things about you. It was a very, very uncomfortable time for all of us, but it's dead.
I'm sure that won't come up. Nope.
Right. I'm gonna ask this in as gentle a way as I can. Has Braley been giving you any mushrooms?
I wish.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, you should be checking your meals. Okay, I will put that in my report to the general. Very well. Good job on everything, and I'll see you when you get back.
Yep.
She sounds.
Like she needs a drink. Or several.
She sounds like she is drinking.
Yeah, she probably needs it.
Okay. Other than that,
Man, every time every time we're doing military type things in one of Callie's campaigns, somebody gets to give an NPC a crazy fucking message.
I know. Because it's one of my favorite things to just imagine one of these NPCs back at base getting like the update of everything that has changed since they were initially sent on their quest, and they're like, I sent you guys to go pick up supplies.
Yeah.
I sent you to the store.
The whole time I was thinking of the one in Scholar when Mariani's like, hey, we killed one of the generals and we rescued Scala's clone daughter.
Yeah. And the guy's like,
Her what?
I feel like I'm being punked. What?
I think I missed a few steps here.
Yeah. And that wasn't a two-way sending stone. That was just a one sending message, so it had to be in 25 words.
Yeah.
I sent you to the store. How did you end up on a different goddamn continent?
No,
I'm at the soup store! I'm at the soup store. Did you know there's a clothing store called Soup, by the way?
Soup, yeah.
Anyway.
Wait, what?
Anyway, sorry.
Clothing, yeah.
That's all. Anyway.
That's a discussion.
I think Ayla will just give the sending stone a long look and then look up. Well, Commander
here's
Elspeth now, right?
Commander, yep. She's now Commander.
Commander Elspeth should be questioning my sanity at this point.
Oh, I forgot we should be probably speaking with her.
Yeah, so did I.
When was the
Good
last
news, the
time
alliance
we-
is formalized.
busy.
Oh, the alliance
Now
is
we're
from-
supposed to get whatever help we can up here. So, I think that's on you, Ramiel.
When was the last time we talked to her?
When you left?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah.
We've been
Shit.
busy. If she does give you any trouble, just remind her that the situation is fluid.
What the fuck? What the actual fuck do you mean it's up to me?
It's a war. It's always fluid. What does that mean? Put Ayla on the phone. Get her off of here.
Oh, just, Ramiel, your position and your relationship means that, well, they will listen to you, not to us.
I don't even
and then-
know what my position is in this.
Yes, but she is correct that you have a somewhat different position than the rest of us, given your relations.
I just fucking found out about my lineage and my progeny quite literally less than a week ago. Most of it in the past 24 hours. There is a lot to absorb and internalize.
Alright, I understand. We're just saying that you do have somewhat more of an impact than the rest of us. We're just people off the street, such as it is.
I can give you a script. Help you stay on topic.
A script would be
Speaking-
nice because, frankly, I don't trust myself to not go causing to not cause international blow-ups with.
Oh, yeah, we are ambassadors now, apparently. So, yeah, don't do that.
Sure,
Hey!
that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly no pressure at all.
Is that a step up or a step down from a lieutenant?
Definitely a
side
step
gig.
up. I mean, it is a side gig technically, but from a prestige point, an ambassador is a big deal. Yeah.
Do you think they will up our pay? That would be nice. What? I'm just asking.
Less
It
of
is
a pay and
expensive
more-
to
I
be here.
don't think that's particularly relevant at the moment.
I
Yeah,
mean-
it's relevant to me.
If
I mean, maybe.
if we fucking survive this whole endeavor, I need a fucking vacation.
Okay.
With
I-
Ryan and Candace, or just one of them?
You see. What's everyone's passive perception?
Not great.
14. What?
Actually, great. 18.
I was gonna say wisdom
And
casting.
Nice.
Anyone over a 15 hears Kelsey whisper to Lysel and start pointing. That one's the Caldana. That one is the Rialta. That one's the Melody, I think. and just goes through
Okay.
the whole thing.
But who gets Caldana?
The one who just said, I need a fucking vacation. That one was Caldana.
Damn it. Ayla then is gonna offer up the sending stone. Alright, so who wants to be the next one to make Commander Elspeth question your sanity?
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
All right. Nova has the sending stone.
Just gonna.
Now she has the sending spell and 2 sending stones, but one's a secret.
Yeah. Kelsey speaks up.
I am the magic.
Katir is going to have to stay here for a few weeks to heal before he's suitable for travel on an airship. So we're going to go with you to meet your Primus in the morning.
Very well, as long as that is still a suitable plan.
Yes. We lost a lot in the success of this mission. We may as well see it through to the end. And if I'm being blunt, I would very much like to see my daughter.
Of course.
She's in Primus.
They nod. She's staying with a friend of ours.
I see.
You all, so you all are able to talk and drink and celebrate the life of those who are not there to drink with you tonight. But you all eventually find your way to bed. It is a very peaceful night, actually. Despite, you can occasionally hear, soldiers marching on the wall outside. There's always a watch that's being held. You occasionally hear the sound of, a shift change, which is usually heralded by a whistle first. But for the most part, it's pretty easy to sleep here. Easier than it was outside on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
You don't hear shelling, which is important. And you don't hear anyone say to arms, which is also what you don't want to hear. So it's a pretty peaceful night and nothing happens for most of you.
Oh boy.
Interesting phrasing.
Mm.
Brayley,
Mhm.
as nice as it is to finally lay down and rest, your sleep is disturbed that night. As your eyes open, the bright moonlight of Rosalind shines in through the window, offering some low-light vision in the room. You're not quite certain what awakened you, except that it's so warm in the room. For a place that is normally so cold, like Mitra Glorianda, the room itself is just a little warm. And as you look around, your eyes meet another set in the darkest corner of the room. Glowing pink, they stand out against the shadows, and you hear an unfamiliar voice, but a familiar accent, call out, "Good evening, Brayley."
Nova, is that you?
Not exactly.
Hi.
Stepping forward into the moonlit room, you can see the beautiful lavender, almost periwinkle shade of her flesh. She is draped in simple sheer cloth of silver and red and has a golden collar with matching loose bracelets on her wrists. On her forehead, you can see she's wearing a tiara, but on closer inspection, it's not jewelry. The crown of bone is embedded into her flesh and seems to grow there naturally. Rubies and sapphires are pressed into the bone to decorate it, and her long platinum blonde hair cascades down over her shoulders. And it's as you begin to study her more closely that you start noticing more of her unusual features. At first you thought maybe she was a tiefling, but while she has this kind of circlet of bone around her forehead, she has neither horns nor tail. She lacks the pointed ears of an elf, and unlike any of the people of Serene that you know, her fingers are unnaturally long and have an extra knuckle. Her eyes seem to reflect the low light of the room, and her pupils open much wider than most people's to allow her to see in the dark. As she looks you over, she licks her lips, and as she does, you can see that she has a bifid tongue, one that is forked down the middle with a piercing in either half.
Holy shit. Oh, that's some really nice jewelry you have. Are you in the wrong room? Is this your room?
I certainly hope that it can be.
Oh, okay. Why don't you come lay down then if it's also your room?
A look on her face like it's never been this easy. She chuckles
like-
to herself and sits down on the edge of the bed, just gazing at you for a long moment, those cat-like eyes looking into yours. Brayley, I heard you yesterday
Oh, yeah?
when you faced your own mortality, when you faced death, and you wished that you might get to experience more of life before you died. My heart went out to you.
Wait, when did you hear? I don't remember seeing you before.
I have ears that hear beyond what is spoken. I have eyes that see beyond what can be seen. She looks at you. You have gotten to see so little of this world, haven't you?
Yeah. Brayley's definitely like eye contact. Brayley's definitely been feeling different lately about herself. She's checking everyone out or this unnamed person out. How come you and Nova have the same voice? Or
We have very similar backgrounds. We come from the same place. She shifts a little bit closer on the bed. Are you afraid of me?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
And Brayley's like eyeballing her like her unusual features that she's never seen before.
You have not.
No, wait, be like, oh wow.
She nods. I have not shown this form to many people. They are usually made uncomfortable by it, by the unfamiliar. But that is not what scares you, is it, Brayley? You are not afraid of the unfamiliar. You're afraid that you will like it. You are afraid that you will like that which you do not know and then be afraid to lose it. That is what scares you.
Brayley's definitely gonna take she's quiet and trying to like think about those thoughts. I'm also trying not to be distracted by the chat.
Sorry, yeah, we're very
I was gonna say,
distracted.
I usually put a different screen over it.
Yeah, I have to look away because it's.
I have had the same experience.
She reaches a hand out, and that kind of, those strangely long fingers rest on your cheek, but it's comforting as she can curl them a little bit behind the back of your head, stroking through your hair. Oh, poor little thing. So much freedom, and yet none all at the same time. You are beautiful and fascinating, Brayley Tourmaline.
Oh, Brayley closes her eyes slightly. That feels nice. You're pretty fascinating yourself. What was your name again?
Aruna. That is the name the people of your world have given me.
Oh no, is Brayley gonna remember?
You live around here?
In the manner of speaking, yes. There is so much that you might learn, so much you might get to experience. Yet it can be like drowning, being thrown out into an ocean of feelings and emotions, sensations that you are not yet prepared for. But worry not. She leans in closer. If you wish, I will keep you safe. Do you want to belong to me, Brayley Tourmaline?
Brayley doesn't know what to think of that.
I mean, that's fair. That's a lot. That's a lot. And you don't have to.
That is a bold offer.
Yes. You're allowed to say. It does not have to be yes or no answer. Or it can be.
What you said about drowning, I've definitely been feeling that. I've had that weird awake dream where I was drowning. You can keep me from drowning in my awake dream?
She smiles widely. I consider it my greatest responsibility to keep people from drowning in those things.
Well, I'm a little engaged.
Well then, we had best ensure that you are prepared for them.
What do you mean?
She leans in to kiss you.
Oh, God.
And Brayley, it is up to you whether you do.
She does. Brayley like feels the kiss, and the kind of hunger and buzz that she had been feeling, she dives into. And
It
she,
is electric. You feel the kiss deepen, what feels like two tongues working over your own, and we will fade to black there. Brayley, it's going to be a late night for you.
If that's as far as
Wait,
you
how
want to
late?
go. Well, it's how far you want it to go, to
She-
be fair.
Goes as far as you are willing. And when you stop her, she is gone.
Your decision. How low can you go?
Wait, I have to say that right now?
No, you don't have to say it all. That can absolutely be your secret, how far you went with Aruna that night.
Then maybe we'll make a little journal entry.
Maybe a
there.
journal entry will talk about how far it went. Anyway,
And Aruna gets to read it.
Oh, God.
in the morning, you all awaken feeling well rested. Brayley, you feel a mixture of well rested and not well rested, I think. But, you know, you still got your long rest.
Do I get told anything in the morning?
In the morning, as you awaken, you do see Aruna. She is in the room with you, although she is sitting across from you and currently reading through a book. Not unusual. She tends to do that sometimes. She is in her tiefling form as she looks up. Ah, good morning, Sherry.
Good morning.
She glances up. Did you sleep well?
Yes, it was. Sorry, voice. Yes, it was quiet. Then I, Aruna, Why do you ask?
She just smiles and looks down.
Aruna,
Yes, Sherry.
were you out last night?
I was. Worry not. I did not use your form again. You made yourself very clear that that was not acceptable.
What form did you use then?
She shrugs. One of my own fashioning.
So you went as yourself?
Myself, yes.
Okay. To who?
She smiles. Someone who very much needed it.
Nova narrows their eyes. I can think of several people that could qualify too. I'll need a bit more specific.
Well, I could not convince her to use a bear form this time, but maybe.
Brayley?
She smiles again.
You went to Brayley?
Yes.
I
Well, you made clear that Ayla was not acceptable and that using your form was not acceptable. I did neither of those things.
So she saw you? She knows you? In the biblical sense.
She raises an eyebrow at that. I would say that she knows me quite well. And yes, she saw me.
I did not.
I'm surprised you did not hear her call out my name.
Wait, this. Aruna, they heard your name back with the creature.
Well, if she recognized it, she didn't seem to let on that she did.
Okay, Aruna, why suddenly this happening in our journey together? Unless you didn't tell me, I did not realize I was keeping you from. What is wrong with me? They just start pacing, which is a little unusual.
She snaps the book shut. Are you troubled, Sherry?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's not. I shouldn't care, and I do care. I don't know what's wrong.
Do you care that I slept with someone else, or do you care that I slept with your friends?
I don't know. I didn't. I'm not giving you what you need. Why did I say that?
She blinks a couple of times.
Fuck.
You are concerned about giving me what I need.
Well, yes, you've done things for me and you have stayed when you shouldn't, and I have yet to give you the thing that you have requested. No, fuck. And they start to lean over and just kind of clutch at their shirt a little bit. Why does this hurt so much?
Why, indeed.
What are you doing? You aren't supposed to give that back to me yet.
I have given nothing back to you.
Then what is happening? Why am I jealous?
Because that is a natural thing that people feel.
But I shouldn't be. I'm not supposed to be. I'm not supposed to feel that anymore or anything anymore. What is going on?
I wish that I could tell you. But it is something you have to figure out for yourself.
Okay. I shouldn't I shouldn't tell you what to do. This mission, everything is just not what it's supposed to be, and I'm not sure what to do about it.
Should you have told him what to do?
He wouldn't listen to anything I told him. But it doesn't mean I get to control you either.
No. You do not get to control me. I make my own decisions, just like he did.
I need to get some food. And without really thinking of leaving Aruna behind, they leave.
Enjoy, mon cher. She opens her book again and continues reading. And you all awaken and are able to go down to the green step to get something to eat. Good morning, everybody. As you get down there, Kelsey has a pack with her, as does Lysel. And they both give you a pleasant nod. Trust you all slept well.
Pointed, no contact, no eye contact with Brayley.
A nice lady visited me last night.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Nova chokes on their food.
Kelsey blinks a little bit. A nice lady visited you?
Why does this keep happening?
She was really pretty.
Oh! You hired one of the girls from the brothels.
No.
Oh. Kelsey just looks at Lysel, who shrugs. What was she like?
She had some really nice jewelry and she had really long fingers.
Nice jewelry?
And she had soft lips too.
Kelsey blushes a little bit. Oh.
She her voice sounded a lot like Nova. I thought she was Nova at first.
Ayla, make an insight check.
Yeah, that was in character, by the way.
Tea is spilling hot.
You can spill it hot. I'm ready. Sarah's ready.
Ayla, this sounds familiar. A woman who sounds like Nova showing up in the night and having a really fun experience.
Having a fade to black.
I think Ayla just kind of eyes Nova a little bit.
Nova's staring down at their
feel
food
like
and not eating.
she's not the only one.
No, if anything, Ramiel is the only one who's not staring at Nova because Ramiel is making it a very conscious effort to not make eye contact with anyone with how fucking red his face is right now.
Only not looking because he's looking any other direction.
So
Are y'all's breakfast spicy?
So you and Nova last night?
No, her name was Aruna.
I think Ayla's eyes just snap to Nova and then she pointedly ignores it.
Aruna. That's interesting. It's a that's a
You know any Arunas around here?
no, it's a Undwaran name.
Does Brayley know anything about that?
Undwar, you know that Undwar is the capital, or is the continent of the dwarves. It's pretty far to the northeast, but that's, about it.
Coincidence.
What's up? Did you say that in character?
Yeah.
What's a coincidence?
It's the situation.
Well, I'm glad you had some fun last night, Brayley.
Please excuse me. Nova actually, even though she just got down here, she's like, I can't handle this either. And goes back upstairs.
She, as you return, she looks up again from her book and just sighs through her nose. Welcome back, Shetty.
She's telling everyone, and your name is Dwarven?
Yes. The first people who found me were dwarves. And they named me it.
Is this even your real form?
She noticeably fidgets a little. What would you want me to say?
You know everything about me. And if there's something that I need to know about you, something that Brayley may have seen, do I not get to know?
If Brayley had been frightened by what she saw, I would have left and she would have thought it was a bad dream. I don't get to do that with you.
You think I'll be upset?
I don't look like any of you. I mean, I can. You see her do something she's never done before. She shapeshifts in front of you. And she looks exactly like you now.
That would explain with Ayla.
And then she shapeshifts again, and she looks exactly like Ramiel.
Have you done this at times that I am not aware?
I try not to do it around people. The first people who found out that I could do it thought it was a useful ability.
You were used.
Something like that, yes.
Well, what is your preferred form then? A true form of some kind, or what you've been showing me, something else?
The tiefling that I usually appear as is what I usually use. It is the one that I have found is the most pleasing to people to see. She starts to transform, and indeed you see her fingers lengthen, her eyes take new shape, her horns recede into her head and form that kind of crown of bone around her forehead. The extra knuckle appears in her finger, and a moment later she is looking at you as she truly is.
Nova blinks in surprise, but she takes a step closer. You've been scared to show me this whole time?
I don't really show it to a lot of people, or anyone, really.
You showed it to Brayley.
She seemed like she would be into weirder things. I didn't show it to Ayla.
I showed it to myself instead.
Well, that's the form that I thought she would be into. I've seen how she looks at you.
That doesn't matter.
It did to her.
She's not... It can't be like that.
Oh, right.
What?
No, that is just your very convenient excuse for a lot of things.
Listen, if you know what kind of situation I'm in, if I go through the plan,
Are you going to?
I don't know.
You just saw what betrayal does to people. You raised a glass to someone who died because of betrayal. You're really gonna do that to them?
What direction am I supposed to take? I am nothing. Nobody. These people are all special. Layla has a family that cares for her back home, has a connection to Azure. Ramiel is a direct descendant of Azure. Brayley is apparently a reincarnation of a goddess long gone. And Ayla. Ayla is this brand new form, this miracle of a new age that no one has seen before. And then me. I should be dead. I'm nothing. I'm the daughter of a whore who had died in a fire. And someone who I thought loved me but didn't love me enough to keep me around after I gave the one thing that I could. They're heroes. I'm lower than dirt.
Okay. Well, they have all these great things and you have nothing.
I didn't.
So I will continue to be nothing.
That's not what
And she disappears.
Aruna, that's not. Fuck. Aruna, that's not what I meant. I mean, without you, I'm nothing.
You only hear silence.
And she just goes and drops to the bed and is groaning in pain because feelings hurt. And we can move to a different person. She's gonna be stuck in her room for a little bit.
Can't be stuck there too long. You got an airship to catch.
Yeah, I know. She'll
Yeah,
get
I
out
was
in a
gonna
second.
say, Ayla.
She'll get out in a
It's so awkward. Ayla would probably wait a few minutes until it's like, okay, is Nova not coming back down? Then grab Nova's plate and take it upstairs.
Oh, I thought you were gonna eat her food.
I thought so too.
No.
All right, you can take it up to her room for her. Nova, you hear a knock at the door.
Yeah. Who is it? Pardon, I am dressing.
Don't know why you'd be dressing after you were just eating breakfast, but brought your plate up.
Oh, thank you. A moment. And they'll open the door crack. I think the face you see is kind of confusing because they haven't been crying or anything like that, but their eyes are very bloodshot.
Are you okay?
Off morning, migraine, sorry, you can come in.
I was gonna say, like, if the food's bad, I can just go throw it to someone.
Oh, no, that's not, no, I should eat some of this, thank you, apologies. Are we leaving soon? And they'll just try to eat very quickly.
I don't know, Callie, how much time for the
I mean,
airship?
you guys gotta go. Like, you guys are out. Like, it leaves in an hour.
I mean, we have to be on it in an hour when it goes, but you at least have time to eat.
Right. Apologies, just off morning, strange things happening, but I will be okay once we get out the journey. It's nothing to worry about. Shoveling food down.
You don't have to make excuses or explain anything you don't want to.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Perhaps well, once we get to our next destination, perhaps there are some things that I can later explain. I think there's kind of a wince as they're trying to speak that it just seems like more mechanical than usual, like almost forced.
Only if you want to. I meant what I said in the forest. I heard nothing if you heard nothing.
I appreciate that. I will think on it. Oh, I look like a mess. They go to their mirror and just kind of try to splash one on their face for a moment before taking a deep breath. Let's go down to see the others. I don't want to cause any more distress or confusion. But thank you for the food.
Of course.
After a few minutes, you all have to start heading over. This is a bit of the walk up to the airship dock. But you are able to board the airship to meet your Primus. I think probably for at least a few of you, there's a feeling of, oh god, here we go again.
A lot more bracing.
Yeah. Although these ships are actually more stable than the Nightwing was, they're not as fast, though.
I don't think that's the thing we're concerned about.
Completely agree. But it is noticeable that these ships, like a large ship versus a small one, it may not be as quick, but it is more stable and there's less shaking to it. That said, on this trip, you will frequently notice Kelsey offering constructive criticism on the functionality of this airship and how it might be improved for the betterment of the Mitra Gloriondan Air Navy. I'm happy to report it is a pretty uneventful trip to meet your Primus.
Think fuck.
That's not completely. You used a qualifier.
I did use a qualifier. No, it's uneventful. You travel for about a day and a half on this airship, and it does take you over the great divide in the center of the continent. And you can see Nexus Azure, the massive bridge that has been constructed over this divide, supposedly constructed by Azure, though whether that's actually the case, I guess you don't know for sure. In the mid-afternoon of the following day, you first lay eyes on Mitra Primus.
You map? Ayo?
New music right now, I think.
Fuck.
If I can find it. Oh, it's up here at the top. That's why I can't find it. Legends say that Mitra Primus was designed by Elf himself, the second born of the Prime Goddess and her lover. And indeed, to look at it from a distance, you can see where the legends come from, even if it doesn't currently live up to them, being in a state of war. Built between two massively large icy lakes, the city itself is a series of spiral minarets reaching high up into the sky. A large central cluster of 5 minarets marks the governing hall of the elven people, as well as the Prioress's palace. To the east, you can see the jewel of the city, the Primus Air Dock. It's a large structure of metal and wood that actually extends out off the edge of the continent, allowing for airships to be constructed and launched from its docks. Currently, you can see 6 or 7 airships in the dock, with one of them just starting to pull away from the dock as yours begins to make its approach. Brayley, as you see these two large icy lakes, you remember a story your mother used to tell you about the legendary elven homeland. Supposedly, its capital was built between the eyes of the world, that it might behold the beauty of all serene. And as you look down at these two great icy lakes, you do indeed see the eyes of the world. On the southwestern end of the city, you do see Nexus Azure, the great bridge extending the gap in the center of the continent. In terms of scale, the city is the largest any of you have ever seen. Stone's Throw is comparable in size, but not in height. With the many spiral minarets of the city reaching higher than even the castle of Stone's Throw itself, where Stone's Throw is mostly flat and sprawled out with some densely packed areas. Mitra Primus chose to build up as much as it did outward. Drawing closer to the city, you notice something else you've never seen before, at least not like this. All around the city, you can see small vehicles flying about, and Kelsey points at one of them. Those are called air skiffs. The only real way to get around Mitra Primus. Walking from one tower to the next would take, well, forever. So you basically fly around everywhere there. They'll have one prepared to take you to the palace when we dock.
I feel like Ayla just smirks. Ah yes, flying around. A way of transportation I am so unfamiliar with.
Kelsey laughs at that. Yeah, well, listen, I'm not saying there haven't been any ASMR born up here, but you're still pretty few and far between. Centralized transportation still works with no wings in mind. You dock a few moments later, and as the ship docks and you all gather your things up and start to disembark onto the massive wooden and metal platforms of the air docks here, a loud voice cries out, "Mama!" excitedly. Hurrying over, a young girl of 7 or 8 with Kelsey's silver hair practically barrels into the captain. Deftly, she hands one of the packs over to Lysel before kneeling down and scooping up the child into her arms before she is tackled over to the ground. And she smiles pleasantly. "There's my girl," she says and grins at her. Lysel also offers a warm smile, leaning up to kiss the girl's cheek. "Cheyenne, did you behave for Miss Shalport?" she asks, and Cheyenne nods eagerly. "Uh-huh. I did all my chores, and I got a perfect score on my last test." And Kelsey gives a proud look at that. "She got my hair and brains, and fortunately, Lysel's everything else." Lysel rolls her eyes. "Clearly my ability to wrap you around her finger." Everyone, this is our daughter Cheyenne. And the young elven child, clearly Dia As Enil, by the look of her, the rather androgynous appearance of all Dia As Enil when they're born. But she smiles, and she does usually insist on she. So
Ramiel is going to get down on one knee and bow towards Cheyenne. Pleasure to meet a young lady.
Wow. You look really cool. I like your eyes.
Oh, thank you.
I like your scales. Where did you get those? I want scales. Can I ask the machine prints for scales when I turn 25? And Kelsey scratches her cheek. Might be a first, but I guess you could.
Wait, this is
You
the second
can-
fucking
you
time
can
that
always ask.
second fucking time that someone has asked if they can be either a dragonborn and have scales when they grow up.
They look cool.
Did they spread more?
Did they?
Possibly.
I don't know. I think scales are overrated.
Ramiel,
You
Ramiel,
prefer
dear,
feathers.
You shouldn't itch like that. It'll never get better if you keep itching.
Ramiel actually makes it a point to pull his hood up more when Cheyenne mentions his scales. Well, thank you, dear.
She smiles up at you very excitedly and nods. "You're welcome. Are you a Dia As Enil?"
No, Della. I'm a Feyborn.
Cool. What's a Feyborn?
What is a Feyborn?
Feyborn, supposedly, are, supposedly a very long time ago, a group of the elves chose to become one with the forest, and they became the Feyfolk. People who were born of a Feyfolk and another species of Serene became the Feyborn elves, supposedly.
Would Ramiel have been told this at any point?
You know
during-
roughly where the Feyborn come from. You would just say that you're a child of the Feyfolk.
Okay. Well, Not like the Nadoya or the Arsenal, such as yourself. I come from the Faithful.
I see. That's cool. When I turn 25, I get to ask the Machine Prince to make me into whatever I want to be. I'm going to ask for knife arms.
Oh.
And and Kelsey just closed her eyes. This is why they have to wait till they're 25.
Sounds fun.
Well, certainly, if you want knife arms, you would want the kinds that you can hide.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
That way, if anyone or anything scares you, you can pop those suckers out.
Yeah. Then she looks over at you, Ayla, and her eyes widen, and she looks back to Kelsey. Never mind, I know what I want.
I think Ayla just gives Ramiel the
Nice wings.
smuggest fucking smile.
Knife wings, holy shit.
Knife wings. Oh.
Kelsey laughs. I actually have known Anil elves to get wings. I guess that is something you could do, yes. Anyway.
I think Ayla will like run a hand over her wing, grab like a loose feather. Let's get you started early.
She starts bouncing
Aw.
excitedly and takes the feather. And you see her like try to attach it to her arm. And Lysel like pinches the bridge of her nose. Yes, well. Cheyenne, it is very good to see you again. And Cheyenne speaks up then. Where's the Nightwing? If you guys wreck the Nightwing, Auntie Thermal's going to be pissed. And at that, Kelsey nods and pulls her closer. Yeah, kiddo, let's go for a walk. Say goodbye to your new friends. Maybe we'll see them later. And Cheyenne waves to you all, smiling pleasantly. Bye-bye. Have fun at the palace. And they
that sweet
leave.
child.
Must protect.
Lysel stays back with you as she's intending to escort you to the palace. She nods. That's not going to be a fun conversation.
Imagine it is.
No.
You'd be surprised at what children are capable of understanding.
She is...
You can't keep them innocent forever, unfortunately.
No. And she is distressingly like her mother. She has been brilliant since she could talk. Oh my gosh. Already she's smarter than me. Let's go. There'll be an air skiff prepared for us. And she starts to lead you off the docks. A couple points of order. Nova, in a day and a half now, you have not heard, seen, or sensed hide nor hair of Aruna.
Yeah, there's some panic.
No, she is, as far as there is no sense of her at the moment.
Yeah, she's panicking internally.
And Layla, actually, I do want to do that. So as you're on the air skiff over, you would find a moment to be able to talk, kind of quietly. Kelsey's not there, so.
Hey, so this is a little weird.
Yeah,
but
everyone else is quite distracted with looking out the windows of this air skiff at the city below. Mitra Primus is truly an incredible thing. Like, this would be like if you were all from, like, Mos Eisley and now you're on Coruscant. Like, this is wild. But, yes, Layla, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no, it didn't have to be a whole thing.
Mm-hmm. But you wanted to know about technoprosthesis.
Yeah. I apologize if this is perhaps a bit more forward than you would like, but following everything with Thermal, I wanted to see if I could learn more about your modifications.
Oh. She nods and smiles.
I understand, of course, if talking about it.
No, it's fine. Believe me, after we conceived Cheyenne, there was lots of questions as to how that happened. Of course, it's only natural to be curious. Well, I'll assume you know the basics of the Diasanil and how we work. A very long time ago,
It was explained to me in brief.
as most people understand, we are born androgynous. You saw Cheyenne. We are all born kind of looking like them. We don't choose our sex or gender until later in life, until we're adults. And then we can be what we want to be. That's our kind of our symbiotic relationship with the machine prince. Our
It's
faith
so
sustains
wonderful.
him, and he blesses us with the forms that we desire.
That is certainly a wonderful gift.
It is. And then there are people like me. Most know by the time they're an adult what is right for them, that whether they're male or female, but not all exist within that binary. Some choose to be neither, choose to remain as they are, and others choose to be both. Either way, those people are known as Dara Swede. Which I don't know how that would translate in Mother's Jail or in Draconic, but it would roughly mean one who exists beyond.
I see. That's not an entirely unfamiliar concept to me, although perhaps the implementation is different.
Yes, I know of the Naivist. I have always had complicated feelings about that, obviously. It must be difficult to not be able to just choose who you're supposed to be.
Well, it's only sort of difficult now on knowing that somewhere out there are people who in fact get that choice and give a sort of sad smile.
Yes.
But beyond that, it is almost freeing in a way to have that and know that you are in some way special.
The day, if this is hurtful, I apologize. It certainly is not intended to be. But the day a Dia Asanil chooses whom they are and speaks to the machine prince and takes their form is a celebrated day in our people. We rejoice for meeting the person within. But then it's over.
And there's a next day.
And a next day. And a next day. And after that, it's just rote. You get to decide who you are each and every day. Not to say that there's nothing to envy. There is. But I think we all have our own blessings.
It does seem like that would, considering the variety available, that would be a big burden to head into that, knowing that you have to make that choice for what the rest of your life will look like.
It is difficult sometimes. There are people, of course, who start one way and decide to change. It does happen. They too call themselves Naivist. I had a good Niviste friend with my people before I met Kelsey. But I was very nervous the first time me and Kelsey got together, but she never had a problem with it. And between you and me, she was a very cranky pregnant lady. She gives a look like, "Whew." But
and yeah, we'll laugh in character. Most
She-
tend to be.
she looks at you for a moment before reaching into her pack and taking out a medallion. The medallion has a clockwork wolf on it, and she hands it to you.
What is this?
It is a medallion of the Machine Prince. Something I've always kept close to myself as a follower. It's not to say that he would ever grant your desires or your wishes, but Thermal wasn't born to us, Anil.
Truly, I don't know what to say.
Nothing to be said. Take it as a gift from one person who never fit in the box to another.
Thank you.
She nods and hugs you.
Yeah.
Sorry, one second.
So cute.
You all arrive as your skiff docks at the palace. You are informed by the man who greets you there, a person wearing long golden robes, that you are welcomed, first off, and informed that, unfortunately, you are restricted to the palace for your time here, with the heightened security issues, not the least of which being the ones that saw your ship shot down. They're not allowing people elsewhere in the city at the moment. Also, the DM hasn't made it, so it's important.
They're under
How
construction.
fancy,
Yeah.
how
Yeah, they're-
fancy are these robes?
This person's very fancy. This person is basically the voice of the Prioress.
Are they a bride?
No, I wouldn't say they're a bride. They are like
That'd
a
be a-
diplomat.
That's like Brayley in a character.
Mhm.
They're like, they're so
I-
fancy. They look like, are they getting
They-
married?
Dressed
I-
up for some event.
I think they are wealthy.
Well, if you will all follow after me, the Prioress is expecting you.
Of course. Lead away.
And you do. I'm having so much trouble finding my music tonight.
It's all good. They need like a search engine
I
in
know.
every playlist.
As you all step into the throne room of the palace, it is a long hallway with a green carpet over a marble floor. On the walls, you can see painted glass depictions of prior leaders of the elves, and all along the ceiling, there is a beautiful painting of the United Allies of Serene, a woman in armor at the head of them, facing down Scala and a legion of demons. At the front of the room, elevated 2 steps, is a rather ordinary throne of lacquered wood and brass, and sitting in it is an elven woman in her mid-30s. She has off-white silver hair, and her eyes glow like galaxies, a deep blue shade. Her otherwise flawless ivory skin has patches of azure scales run over it, and the garb she wears seems to celebrate this fact. She wears a dress of alabaster fabric run through silver ringlets around her neck. Where the fabric parts to expose her flesh, her scales are visible. She has a blanket over her lap that hides her legs, but you suspect they have similar scale patterns down the sides. Those scales run up over her neck and both cheeks as well, and she has a very complicated look on her face as you all enter the room. What you are certain is usually a very practiced placidity, looks distracted and almost pained. Nevertheless, she gives you all a courteous nod of the head as you approach. Greetings, warriors of Mother's Jail. I am Prioress Vincenzia Larksheart, and I bid you welcome to Mitra Primus. And thank you for making the long journey here. I am saddened to learn of the complications on your journey, and my heart aches for the loss of Jezera Redtree and Illatrin Whitewalk. She turns her gaze towards Lysel. I am told they were outstanding officers, and while I can never hope to replace who they were, I hope you will relay to your captain my sorrow, and that you will be duly compensated for the loss of your ship and officers in service to Mitra Glorianda. Lysel just gives a rather simple nod and a polite bow before turning to leave. Prioress Vicenzia waits until she has left before turning her attention back to you all. Again, I thank you all for making the long journey here. I'm sure by now you can guess why I wanted to see you with my own eyes.
Motion to Ramiel.
Ramiel,
Did Mal do it? No? No.
you might be muted. Uh-oh.
Ramiel is speechless.
Okay, well, until
Oh,
Ramiel
no.
is able to talk, she will... Oh, they
Oh.
just poofed.
Hello?
Testing.
There we go.
1, 2, 3.
Now we hear you.
You're
Motherfucker.
Howdy.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No,
So
Hold me up.
yeah, I don't know. Hold on. Is this working? That worked, right? I'm still
Yep.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
hear you.
You're good.
Okay. Okay, so upon seeing the prioress, Ramiel has a very similar complicated look in his face, but his is less distracted and more, it doesn't know if it wants to settle on anger or elation.
I think the look
and-
on her face is actually very similar. It is a mixture of frustration and joy.
And he does actually lower his hood. And if the scales have extended as far as they have, they'll be very visible now.
As she sees them, she closes her eyes for a moment and just nods before opening them again. Welcome. I must confess I've had all this time to think of what I would say, and in the moment, my words have left me.
Ramiel offers a curt bow. We, on the behalf of the children of the deep, Ramiel Larest reporting.
Larest, she asks.
The name I have chosen to adopt.
Then you are no longer Ramiel Larksheart?
I raise an eyebrow at that.
It's the name you were born with.
Much about my lineage was kept in the dark.
She nods. I see. And
Much
you must
of...
have many questions.
I do.
Well, you've come all this way. I suppose it is the least I can do to answer what I can.
Two in particular. The first being, now that we are both here, we are both aware of each other's existence. Are you satisfied? Has my being here sated your curiosity? That it was worth the lives of 2 people? Destroyed the closest thing someone had to a family?
She looks down in thought. Satisfied is perhaps not the right word for it.
No, perhaps not. Given the fact that your initial reaction was to have us incarcerated. Me, particularly, for the crime of existing.
You are supposed to be dead. I
I'm
was assured
quite-
time and again you and Mother had died.
I'm quite aware. As far as I'm concerned, I should have died 3 different times. Once during this supposed assassination, long before I could even talk. Another, when Scarla made an example of the home that I thought I had. I had to watch many starve and turn into nightmares. I still hear their screams. I can still smell the burning. No,
And on that we can agree.
and finally the most recent one. We should have died on our way here. But for some reason, life has continued to deem the rest of us several chances to avert that.
A great responsibility then has been placed upon your shoulders.
It is not a responsibility I've wanted.
No. And in that, we can relate. I didn't
At
want
least
the
you can
responsibility
remember
I was given.
No.
It was not a good time for Mitra Primus. We were under attack most days. Then the assassination attempt happened, and it was determined that it was no longer safe nor prudent to keep the entire royal family here. Mother took her newborn son to Terrason, and father left with our older sister Shizu and went back to Mother's jail. And I was left here to lead. And given that you are all here from Mother's jail, I'm sure you can guess how that went. You were dead. I was assured of it. When I demanded that we march our armies down to Terrason and tear that bitch apart, I was told it would do no good because you were gone. And they were wrong.
Ramiel has a strained smile on his face. Then, do you remember the pact?
Yeah, that damnable pact. Vividly.
Why doesn't it surprise me that I keep finding out that I am related to figures that I can only imagine existing somewhere on this world?
Well, if it is an older sister's place to give advice, then allow me to give you some. It isn't coming to terms with who you know that will be the hard part. Coming to terms with why you're still here will be what you struggle with.
You know? Somehow I can relate to that, given the fact that I've had a decade or so contemplating why the fuck I'm still alive when they're all dead.
Yep. And yet you are. And you don't get to do anything about it.
Then what do you want from me?
I guess
Did you
nothing.
just want us to make the journey so you could look at me?
Tears fill her eyes. And she nods. Yeah. Yeah. I guess I did. I wanted to know whether or not I was alone. And I guess I have my answer.
Take it from someone who's lost their family more than once. You get used to it.
I hope not. Well,
For what it's worth, I don't claim to understand your unique position.
no.
But seeing how much of Primus thrives, I recall something that, and he pauses at this and visibly shaking. What little I can remember of Mother. She was right. This place is a paradise. I'm just not sure it's for me.
Well. Ramiel, what did you want to be when you were young? What did you want to do?
You know, I don't know if I ever got the chance to think about that.
I wanted to be a soldier. I wanted to be an airship pilot. That was the dream. I would have been so good at it. But sometimes life doesn't let us do the things that we want to do. Sometimes life does hand us a responsibility that we don't want. She makes her way forward, and in doing so, she has to move her wheelchair straight ahead towards you all. So we are handed a responsibility like fighting the good fight, or living when others have to die, or leading a city that we have no knowledge or interest in being able to. And we just have to do it. We were supposed to get choices. That's what the Age of Heroes was supposed to be. And the more I live, the more I find out that we don't actually get any choices. We got responsibilities. That's what the Whispers in Silence actually granted us. And I hated that for a long time. But I don't anymore. Now I understand that choice is the responsibility. When you have the option to do the right thing and to do the wrong thing, you're responsible for doing the right thing. Thank you for coming here, Amiel. You may not know me, but I held you as a baby. And I called you my little brother. And I'm sure to you and to Lysel and to Kelsey, it isn't worth it to have lost lives in your coming here. But I saw family for the first time in 20 years today, and for me, yeah, it meant everything. So thank you.
How far is the Prioress from?
She's at
where
the
we are?
she's at the top step of this of where the throne is seated. She has chosen not to go any further because she can't walk.
Ramiel is going to walk forward,
She kind of glances at you as you do.
and as best as he could, he's going to either kneel or kind of like lower himself to like eye level with her. For what it's worth, part of me is glad that I am not alone. And under different circumstances, I am sure that this would have been a happier reunion.
Perhaps.
But right now, yes, you're right, I have responsibilities. And right now, that responsibility, the responsibility I choose to bear, is the one that honors the blood that courses through my veins.
Then let me honor my responsibility as your big sister. How can I help?
Very the rest of the party can't see, but the prioress would definitely see tears starting to pool. Well, you could tell me stories. I don't remember much about Mum. I don't really know Dad, and apparently I have another sister. Or had another sister. And I'd very much like to remember them as... well, remember them as you remember them.
Well, Father was not what you would call a attentive parental figure. He was traveling the world most of the time. Mother, she liked riddles. puzzles, things she could work out in her mind, word games especially. That's what I remember most. Oh. Given that you are fighting Father's cause, I decided before you came that if you weren't an asshole, I was going to give you this. And she reaches into the back. You're pretty sure you've never heard royalty use the word asshole before, but she definitely does. She reaches down into the back and pulls out a diadem. It is made of a beautiful blue metal called cobalt, and it is in the shape of two dragons ringing around one another, and in the front there is a large sapphire set in it. And she hands it to you. This was Father's. I was supposed to wear it when I went to war, but, well, that's not going to happen. So, you should have it.
I can't accept this.
Well, I'm ordering you to. And
No,
you're in my territory, so you have to.
I meant I can't accept this because jury's still out over whether I'm an asshole or not. You can ask my friends.
She starts to
Ayla.
laugh at that.
Ayla specifically.
He's the
She
sweetest
looks
guy.
over at you all. Is he an asshole?
Depends on the day.
The diadem, I'm sure, looks nice on his head.
She takes the diadem and places it on your head. There we go. It looks good on you. Mother would approve. You may add Azur's diadem dormant to your inventory.
Fancy!
It has 3 abilities on it. One is Azure Arcana, which gives you a +1 bonus to spell attack rolls. It also has Azure Intellect, granting you proficiency in intelligence saving throws. And it also has Azure Evasiveness. When you use a metamagic option on a spell, immediately after casting the spell, you can teleport to an unoccupied space you can see within 30 feet of you. You may use this ability once per short or long rest.
Fuck yeah.
She smiles and nods. Now, I understand that you are attempting to honor Father's pact with Mother. I wish dearly, younger brother, that I could send an army back with you, but, well, you may have noticed that is difficult for us here right now.
Certain complications, of course.
However, I will not send you back on your own. Oh, Sir Varys is never going to let me hear the end of this. I will be accepting Captain Kelsey's commission into the Mitra Gloriandan Navy, and I will be assigning her and her ship to you. She will
Well,
assist you in your endeavors, if she accepts the commission.
I'm certain she'd be thrilled. And if General Varys does indeed take issue with this, you can tell him that he wouldn't want to cross Melody, now would he?
He would probably think I was referring to a song, but I'll keep that in mind.
No, he knows, Mum. Right,
Shit, that's a complicated look on her face, like,
Oh, there's a lot of complicated feelings about that one.
Anyway, I will have Captain Raynor and her crew meet you down in Jet's Ambition, was it?
Yes.
I'll have them meet you there, though you may see them before you leave if you like. I will also prepare a ship to return you to Jet's Ambition, although I wonder if I might impart upon you a favor.
that would be?
The ship has to make a stop before we return, or before it returns you to Jet's Ambition. Would you be willing to deliver a message to someone there?
At Jet's Ambition.
No, at the stop that it has to make.
Oh, sure.
Thank you. Before it heads off for Jet's Ambition, the ship will be docking in the port of Kaldanesh, the capital of Alcana. I need you to speak with a woman named Falah Silverborn and let her know what is happening.
Oh.
Call New Alcana.
That depends on the nature of the message.
It is quite simple. The exchange that we have bartered with them, I am ready to uphold our end of the bargain. She'll know what it means.
Okay, wait. I need to like write this down. Kaldanesh, meet with.
Malnotes.
Yes,
.exe it has
Kaldanesh,
stopped responding. Do you
capital
want to
of
wait for the
Alcana.
program to respond?
Hold up.
The elves of Mitra Glorianda are ready to fulfill their end of the bargain.
Congrats,
What?
Kaldani, got a capital
To
named after you.
Falah
I was
Silverborn.
gonna say, would Ayla know, like, what the meaning behind the name of the city would be?
Everyone knows the meaning behind the name of the city. It was named after a whisper in silence.
Fancy.
That's what
I didn't
Falah
know
named
if it, like, also meant something in Tiefling.
I haven't decided if it does. It is referred to as the City of Dreams.
Not Scholar Dreams, right? I'm just teasing. I'm just
Thank God, no.
teasing. I'm teasing.
And that's where we'll wrap up for tonight.
Oh no!